Welcome to another deep dive. Okay, so get this. We are diving into this press conference, right, with President Claudia Sheinbaum.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a fascinating one. And, I was thinking about how to even introduce this.
Yeah.
Because she kicks it off in a way I did not expect.
Right.
We're talking about a press conference, right? So you're expecting, the latest news and updates.
Current events, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And instead, she starts by celebrating Guadalupe Victoria.
Yeah, and not just, a casual mention like, oh, yeah, it's his birthday. No, it was October 10th.
Right.
The anniversary of him becoming Mexico's very first president.
It's like, okay, first president. This is a big deal, right?
Huge.
So it's almost like she's like drawing this line between the past and present, or right, connecting, that history to what she's dealing with now.
I see that.
And speaking of, well, maybe not challenges, but definitely something we're all familiar with, let's talk about potholes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Those pesky, craters that pop up everywhere.
Yeah, everyone knows about those.
Well, Sheinbaum's announced this new infrastructure program called Bachetó.
Bachetó, okay.
Basically, it's like a nationwide pothole repair blitz.
Wow, okay.
Ambitious.
Yeah, very. But here's where it gets, really interesting. It's going to be funded by unexpected savings.
Oh, wow.
From the previous administration.
So they found some extra money, basically.
Yeah, basically. So not only is she tackling this really visible problem, something that everyone experiences, but she's also putting these funds to good use.
I mean, you can't argue with that. Smart move, really.
Right. Total win-win. Oh, and on top of all that, it's projected to create over 8,500 jobs.
Wow, so there's an economic boost, too.
Exactly.
Okay. But I got to ask, are we going to talk about the elephant in the room?
Oh, we have to.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't talk Mexican politics without addressing, the recent judicial reforms, right?
Right.
And Sheinbaum did not shy away from it either.
No, she definitely did not.
She went straight for it. And I mean, she was calling out those critics. Okay, yeah.
Who are saying that these reforms are going to lead to a politicized court.
A politicized court, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a big concern.
Definitely. And she was very clear about her stance, she believes that the people, not political parties, will be the ones who have the final say when it comes to selecting judges.
Interesting.
But here's the thing. Critics are saying, hold on a second. These reforms make it way easier for political parties to, exert influence.
Okay, so how does that even work? Because she's saying the opposite, right?
Right.
The people have the power.
Okay, so it's complicated. There's this argument that, certain parts of the reform contradict each other.
Legally speaking.
Legally speaking, exactly. But there's also this this transitional article that's built into the reform, right?
Yeah.
And this article, it basically clarifies the selection process.
So they saw this argument coming.
Exactly.
And they were like, hold on. We need to make sure this is addressed.
Yeah, it's like they anticipated that people would be like, hold on, this doesn't quite add up.
Okay, so they tried to, preemptively address it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's smart.
Yeah.
But will it be enough to satisfy the opposition? I don't know.
And this is where it gets, I think, a little ironic.
Yeah. How so?
Because we're talking about critics, right, claiming that these reforms basically open the door to politicization.
Right. Which is, a valid concern in theory.
Yeah.
But how are they challenging these reforms?
No.
Through legal actions brought by political parties.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah. It's like, hello.
Yeah.
You're using the very system you're criticizing.
It's like they're trying to prove their own point.
It's very...
a little contradictory.
Yeah, it definitely highlights the complexities here. Yeah, I mean, are they proving their point or kind of undermining it? It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's really, it's complicated. But, amidst all of this back and forth, there might actually be a little bit of a glimmer of hope for a less contentious process moving forward.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more.
So you're thinking about the Council of the Federal Judiciary.
I am, yeah.
Okay, so they actually voted to provide the Senate with a list of judges for selection.
Okay,
right?
they did.
So that's got to be a good sign, right? At least it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, it could be. At least it suggests that there's a willingness to at least engage with the reform.
Yeah.
Right. Even if these legal challenges are still moving forward, it shows that, there are conversations happening.
Exactly. So maybe baby steps towards a middle ground.
Yeah, maybe. But, okay, important to note here, Sheinbaum is definitely sticking to her guns on one thing, and that's that she will not be meeting with the Supreme Court directly.
Oh, interesting. So it's less about shutting down communication entirely, right? It's more about maintaining a very specific kind of distance.
It seems that way, yeah. And she really emphasized the role of the Interior Ministry, right? Like, they're the ones who are going to be handling the communication between the different branches of government.
Okay, so more of a like formal channel.
Exactly.
Than like a, hey, let's all just get in a room and hash this out.
Right, exactly. And, this whole emphasis on procedure, right?
Yeah.
It kind of ties into another big theme that I noticed in the press conference.
What's that?
This real focus on transparency.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And, I mean, speaking of transparency,
Yeah.
remember that whole debacle with the broken window at the INAI building?
Oh, how can I forget?
It was like, the rumors were flying.
Everyone had a theory.
It was wild. And she actually addressed it, like, head on in the press conference.
She did. What did she say?
Yeah, and I thought it was really interesting how she contrasted what actually happened with all of the speculation.
Right, because you know how it goes.
It's so easy to get caught up in all of that.
Especially these days. Social media just fuels the fire.
It's a good reminder for all of us, I think, to take a step back sometimes.
For sure.
Because it's so easy to get pulled in,
It really is. And I think the fact that she addressed it directly, really signals her commitment to transparency, to being honest, even when it's a little bit uncomfortable.
Definitely.
And you know what I found really interesting? This commitment to truth-telling. It's not new for Mexican leaders,
Oh, okay.
She actually highlighted this really fascinating figure from history who really embodies this ideal,
Who's that?
You familiar with Rita Cetina Gutiérrez?
I've heard the name, yeah. Tell me more.
Okay, so she was this amazing woman,
Okay.
a 19th century teacher from Yucatan.
Wow, okay.
And she was so passionate about advocating for women's education, particularly in the sciences.
Wow.
And Sheinbaum even shared some of Cetina's own words.
Really?
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, even today, they're incredibly forward-thinking.
It's almost like she's, drawing a direct line from Cetina's fight
Right.
to today, to the reality of Mexico having its first female president, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And a woman who's leading the Ministry of Public Education.
It's powerful.
It really is. It's like she's taking stock of how far Mexico has come while also acknowledging the struggles, the sacrifices that made it all possible,
And it makes you think about, what those women went through.
Right, the challenges they faced.
Just to get us to this point.
To pave the way, yeah.
And it makes me think about Sheinbaum's own vision for Mexico.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when we're talking about science and innovation and, technology, all that.
Yeah, she's talked about this before, right? Like her goal of making Mexico this scientific powerhouse.
Exactly.
And I think this focus on Cetina is almost like an extension of that.
Okay. Yeah, I see that.
It's about nurturing that same kind of passion, that love of learning, pushing the boundaries.
And it makes you wonder, right?
Okay.
Is Sheinbaum hoping to inspire, the next Rita Cetina Gutiérrez?
I mean, that would be incredible.
Right.
To see that kind of legacy continue.
Okay, so we've covered, a lot. Crumbling roads, judicial... Showdowns, thank you.
Yeah, it's been a journey.
But I think there's this, common thread running through it all.
Okay.
And I'm curious to hear your take on this.
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Well, it seems like she's really trying to find this balance, right?
Yeah,
between honoring Mexico's past and, really honoring it and building a future, right?
Okay.
A better future.
Right.
And it's not just that. It's like social progress and economic development, her vision, but also the realities of, let's face it, a very complex political landscape.
How do you even sum that up?
Right.
It's incredible, and she's doing it all at the same time.
It really is. It's like she's walking a tightrope, but she's doing it with such intention.
Yeah, and such an awareness.
Absolutely.
It's remarkable.
It really is.
So, for everyone listening at home, for you, what's the takeaway here?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's like, what does all of this mean? What does it tell us? And for me, I think what's really striking is how she's positioning herself.
Okay, how so?
She's a leader who understands history.
Yeah.
Who isn't afraid to, really lean into the challenges.
To confront them head on.
Yeah, and who really, truly believes in a brighter future for Mexico.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from all of this.
It's a future, I think, that's built on transparency.
Yes.
On a commitment to social justice.
Absolutely.
And maybe even a little bit of that Cetina spirit, like pushing boundaries, defying expectations.
That's a great way to put it.
So there you have it.
One press conference.
One press conference, and like so much to unpack.
So much.
And I think it's safe to say that, Sheinbaum's presidency, it's off to a fascinating start.
It really is, yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I am definitely along for this ride.
Me too.
And for everyone listening, we want to hear from you. What do you think about all of this? Head over to our website, leave a comment, send us an email, because we want to keep this conversation going. Until next time, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.